Well, a local toddler at the center of a wild child abuse case is now among Michigan's most wanted kids.
A little Naomi Burns has been taken into hiding by her mother, who fears authorities will take the girl.
7 investigator Heather Catallo has been digging into this case, and she joins us now with the very latest. Heather.
Well, an attorney for Brenda Burns is calling this legal terrorism. Brenda has been cleared of all abuse allegations, but last week, when her attorney told Child Protective Services workers to stop contacting Brenda, CPS went to court demanding to see the child.
For 2 months last year, the Burns family was the picture of perfection. Josh was flying planes for a commercial airline. Brenda was a registered nurse, and little Naomi was their bundle of joy.
Naomi was a very wanted child. We waited a long time to have children.
I attended daddy boot camp classes at St. Joe's before she even came into the world because I wanted to be the best dad I could be.
But 2 months after Naomi's difficult C-section birth, trouble started. Josh says the baby slipped off his knee one day. In the tumble, Mom and Dad says she suffered only a faint bruise on her cheek.
She was smiling and giggling, and we went about our normal day.
The next day, though, Naomi started projectile vomiting. Josh and Brenda rushed to the ER.
I told the attending physician there about it, and he scoffed at it and said, "Dad, this is nothing you did. Your daughter is suffering from an infection or virus."
But a doctor at U of M later found more, bleeding in the area between Naomi's brain and skull, something called a subdural hematoma. They also discovered retinal hemorrhaging. That doctor then accused Josh and Brenda of abuse. Both adamantly deny they ever harmed their baby.
Devastating, humiliating, terrifying.
Brenda was ultimately cleared, but Josh was charged with child abuse. And despite experts who said the bleeding inside Naomi's head happened at birth and was caused by trauma during her delivery, a jury convicted Josh in January.
It's been the hardest thing I've ever been through in my life.
Is there a Joshua here?
No.
The night of Josh's conviction, a Child Protective Services worker from the Michigan Department of Human Services and Brighton Police showed up at Brenda's house. They wanted to see if Josh was violating a court order that prevents him from seeing Naomi.
I'm with CPS. I'm with DHS. I was asked to come out and just verify that he was not here.
You can check the house if you choose.
Brenda's attorney, Elizabeth Warner, says they had no warrant to search the home.
Brighton City police officers and a DHS employee committed a home invasion of the child's home. The child was there with their grandparent.
Warner says this police raid is one of the reasons she sent CPS this letter last week, telling them that Brenda was moving. Warner said they could write to Brenda at a post office box, or they could call Warner. But now CPS has filed a new court petition against Brenda, demanding that she provide Naomi's new address.
Does she have to do that?
No, and it's definitely not a crime for her to take her daughter and live wherever she wants to with her daughter. Daughter was given back to her. She's the fit parent.
Brenda is now in hiding.
People in Livingston County have not acted either honorably or legally. It frankly is the stupidest, most stupid, silly petition I've ever seen filed. It doesn't accuse her of any child neglect. It doesn't accuse her of any child abuse. It accuses her of moving and having an attorney. It's pure hypocrisy and legal terrorism.
A referee issued an order demanding an address for the child by 5 p.m. last Friday. The Livingston County prosecutor told us today so far the child's location has not been provided. He also said, quote, "It is not our desire to keep a child from her mother. We want to make sure that the child is protected from the man who abused her to the extent there is a dispute over what the court can order the mother to do. That's a matter that will be litigated and ultimately decided by the courts. Both sides will be back in court next week, and Josh Burns will be sentenced on his conviction next week as well.
So if they find out where she is and they catch up to her, she's not going to be in any legal trouble.
Well, that's hard to say at this point. I mean, her attorney is very clear on this. CPS has no jurisdiction over this child. The Michigan Supreme Court ruled last year that if one parent's convicted, doesn't mean the other one automatically loses their rights. She has been cleared. So her lawyer says this is her child. She can do what she wants with it. Court has a different opinion. We'll see what a judge decides.
All right, Heather, thank you very much for that. We know you'll stay on that one, too.